Hello and welcome back to the news. This week we'll be sticking around in the realms of South African Dota with our main topic being the Sinister 5 Empower Cup. The Empower Cup is a coaching-based tournament where Masters players of this year are the heads and coaches of teams which are comprised of non-Masters players, with a prize pool of 20,000 Rand available to the coaches. Now the thinking behind this is you have a cash prize incentive for Masters players to coach and for the players to get a chance to learn from our Masters players in a competitive environment. I'm personally a pretty big fan of the concept, and I think it's a pretty innovative way to attempt to improve our baseline level of play for the lower tier players and teams. Though, in SA Dota, nothing can happen without having at least a little bit of drama. The controversy was sparked by a tongue-in-cheek tweet by ACG saying, "Are we trying to grow a forest with all these grassroots Kappa?" which then created a long heated thread where this whole topic was debated. The main point of criticism came from none other than Bob Yules, stating that bad players coaching worse players might make things better locally, but it won't help make good players. So before I dive into all the nitty gritty of all this, I do have somebody to help me go through all these things and give his own opinions on the situation. That person going through the good, the bad, and the ugly in this situation. I have XXD star and current APG carry Cloud here with me to go through all the jazz. Cloud, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine, thanks, and yourself, man?
I'm doing good. So let's get into this, right? What do you think are the benefits of a cup like this, the Sin 5 Empower Cup?
I think it's extremely good to learn to teach new players how to play like the basics of Dota and the fundamentals, because that's definitely something that lacks in South African Dota. Is like the fundamentals of Dota, because a lot of people have mechanical skill, but they don't have the idea of how to play certain lanes, and they don't have ideas of how to play certain things, like certain matchups. But I definitely think there are flaws with how the cup is being held in that.
So there have been actually some criticisms of this cup. We see Bob Yules made a whole tweet thing. There was whole arguments on Twitter and stuff. What are your thoughts on the criticisms? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? What is your own criticisms? That kind of stuff.
I agree with about I'd say 50% of what Bob is saying. I probably don't 100% agree with the way Bob did it, but we all know Bob. Bob is a meme. Bob is he's straightforward, he's straight to the point. That's actually why I like reading his Twitter, because what he says is normally factual. He brings up points that no one really wants to bring up, but he needs to bring up, which gets a discussion going, even if it's not the least flamey discussion. But like Bob, the things about what Bob said is how can bad players be coaching worse players? But I kind of agree with that, because when I look at myself play, for example, I make a lot of mistakes. So I do give a lot of mistakes over to the people that I'm coaching, and I don't realize it because I lack some fundamentals in Dota, and that's coming from a 5.5k player or so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what about a 3K? There's some 3K coaches that are busy coaching people.
Exactly.
What is going on there? The 3K player teaching the 2K player. I don't feel the 1K MMR is a good enough difference to make the coaching worth the time.
So what do you say the bare minimum is? If you Adestam, you 6k and I'm 3k, can he help me?
I think that's a bit of a rough example, because I think he can definitely help you. Let me put it like this. But I think the higher you get, the MMR difference that you need to be able to coach someone that's lower than you can be lower. Because I think the difference between a 6k player and a 5k player is bigger than the difference between a 5k player and a 3k player.
Oh, alright. That's actually an interesting take on it on its own, I think.
Yeah, because that's something that I noticed. Because playing at you can go up to 6k MMR and you'll I'll go there and I won't know what to do in that game. The game is completely different. It's not just because of how the people are playing it, but how timings are hit and how people are, bounty runes instantly get taken the moment they spawn and things. But the moment you get to 5k, there's a 5-second leeway window where bounty runes are available in that. And then when you go to 3k, there's probably an 8-second, so the difference is not, the difference between 5k to 3k is not as big as the difference between 6k to 5k.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The details just become all that more important going up the MMR bracket.
Yeah, but so the general rule of thumb for what you asked would be I'd say 1k MMR difference is the bare minimum for 1.5k probably. But the lower MMR you go, the bigger the difference needs to be.
Okay. I get that. I think biggest issue is that you have players like Soda playing there, where I think Soda has probably played more Masters Dota than 90% of the people there. So I think that's come to a tournament format thing, but I don't know, like Soda's like a 5k MMR player, has been for like years now. It's like pretty weird to see him in like a quote unquote amateur cup, But that's again format of the tournament. They only had the criteria for Masters players this year. So I don't know. I don't personally agree with that formula, because I think, like, again, Soda is better than 90% of the people in this event. Like, how is this really? I mean, including the coaches, it's pretty weird.
Yeah. Like, I would definitely rate Soda, like, in general, as a better player than myself. So, if I would be coaching his team, what would I be achieving? Like, it wouldn't achieve much. But the problem is, how do you fix an issue like this? Like, do you make it suddenly an MMR-based system where you're like, you need to be below 4k MMR to enter this tournament? Because then how many teams have that one-star player in their team, for example? Like, the whole team exists out of 2k players, and they have that one 4k player. And that 4k player doesn't mind being in a team with a bunch of 2ks because it's his friends. That's the way it's always been for him.
Yeah, it is a fair point, actually. Like, it is really hard to get the thing right. I'm giving a criticism here, you giving a solution, which is like it's a better way to think about it than me just moaning about the stuff.
Nah, dude.
But on that, like, back to a more positive note, I want to know, like, you personally, because I've heard you are one of the most active coaches from Sun 5 guys himself. To say that you are the most active coaches, how's coaching the team been, and like, how's the experience been for you? Ooh, I dragged that question way too long.
Yeah. I think coaching the team has been a nice eye-opening experience for myself, because like I said earlier, every player has a lot of mistakes. Even like me, I have a lot of fundamental mistakes when it comes to Dota, and a lot of the things I say to them, and then they try and do what I say. Like, they try and replicate exactly what I say, and it doesn't work out. And then I think, like, oh, it doesn't work out because maybe they're not mechanically good enough. But when I go look back at the fact, then it's because what I told them to do is actually just bad, and it's always been working out for me because I don't want to say lucky or fast enough to pull it off, but that's basically what it is. So there's a better way to play that than the way that I said. So that makes me play better. And especially, like, the players that I'm coaching, I gotta give a shout out to them as well, because when I wanted to start doing the coaching, I was thinking to myself, like, I'll join maybe once a week and I'll be like, oh, you're doing this wrong, you are bad in this way, you're not doing this correctly, and then leave. But then the players that I was coaching, like, I'll coach them one game and then they're like, damn, we had a bad game, but where can we get better? And the moment I heard that, it's like a switch in my head. Dude, okay, these guys actually really want to get better. They're not going to be wasting my time. They're not going to be like, I'm going to tell them something, it goes into one ear, in through one ear, and out through the next. Like, that's not going to be what's happening. So I'm not wasting time. So I will want to coach them, and I want to continue. And since the time that I started coaching them, I'd say they all were around about 2k. No matter their MMR, they were all around 2k base knowledge of the game. And I'd say right now, they all can easily reach 3.5k in that. Like, I've been watching their ranked games and things. They're all going on green streaks because they're just shoving out lanes. They're playing 5k MMR Dota in 2k MMR bracket. So I think it's benefiting them. But I think if they were closer to my MMR, like if they were 4k, would it have the same effect? I don't think that would have been at all.
Yeah, it makes me so happy to hear that, because I think that was like the idea behind this cup, right? That's what they wanted to see, and the fact that you're pulling it off is great. I do think, again, like the 4k MMR plus thing, it changes the situation a lot. But it is really nice to see that there is a team fulfilling the sort of goal of the cup, And my boy Cloud is coaching them. That's just great.
Feels good, man.
Thank you so much for your time, lad.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for having me.
Any last shout outs you want to make before we go?
Definitely to the team that I'm coaching, which is NX Kronos. All of them are great guys, and they all put in the time to get better. And then definitely to my own Dota team, the boys that are busy coaching me, the baboon Dota player. Oh.
And of course, if you like this video and want to follow the Empower Cup more closely, head over to esportscentral.co.za, where you can find all the latest South African esports news, and also find them on Twitter at esportscentrl and Facebook Esports Central ZA. If you enjoyed what Cloud had to say, go give him a follow at Cloud Dota on Twitter and catch me at KChicktay. Thank you for watching and goodbye.